big changes in my life. If you've been following me on social media, you know I've been hinting at changes, and my tweets have been kind of a little more infrequent and less about my typical things that I tweet about. If you've been watching my live streams, you're pretty much well aware of what's been going on in my life, because that's where I share the majority of my stuff. And if you've been watching my vlogs for some time, you know that I've been hinting at some changes as well in the vlogs. Well, this is the video it's going to explain all that and give me a place to send people when they want more information about what's been going on. So let's just jump right into it. Back in April, I was talking to my brothers and my dad and kind of hearing how things were going with my dad's business. For those who don't know, my dad owns a produce delivery business. At this point, it's a restaurant. I don't even know what you want to call it, because he delivers almost everything. Though he started with just produce, vegetables were his main thing. That's what he knows the best. He worked in that industry for many, many years as a truck driver, and he started this business in the back of my mom's Suburban. I was gonna say his Suburban, but my mom's Suburban, his truck. Over almost 30 years ago, and it was a hobby for him that generated some extra income. And then eventually he picked up more and more business and bought himself a van with a reefer on it, and did things, started getting legit, right? Formed an LLC, and this thing grew on the side of his main job as a truck driver, to the point where, much like me, he was like, I can't handle both of these anymore, and this one's making me almost as much as this. I think I'm just gonna quit my job and do this. And I totally encouraged him to do it, kind of talked him up into it, and he did it. And he's been widely successful. He's grown the business to the point where he's got, I don't know exactly how many customers. I'm just going to guess in ballpark figure, say 70, 75 customers, 4 trucks, 2 vans, up to 10 employees at a given time. But he has hit his limit on what he is capable of handling. And he can't really grow anymore, at least the way he's doing things, and with what he does everything when it comes to the office, for the most part. He's got a couple of part-time secretaries that do certain things for him, but the bulk of the office work, receiving orders, entering phone calls, placing orders, inputting orders, all that stuff is 100% my dad. On top of all of the ownership things of the financials and tax stuff and all the other things that have to be ran. Both my brothers work for them. I work for him. My middle brother, Austin, has been down there for about 15 years. And he's been right alongside my dad forever. My Austin has always looked up to my dad. And so when he had the opportunity to work with my dad, he jumped on it. And he's always wanted to be a truck driver like my dad. And so in all intents and purposes, he's a truck driver like my dad. And then Travis joined them a couple of years ago and is right there, as long as they're side by side, just hustling, and they're just go all the time. They're the way the business. My dad, started the business, one-man band. My dad did everything. He still does everything. But now my brothers are also in that same boat where they kind of do everything. And again, same thing. They've grown the business successfully, but they've hit their limits. They've hit their ceiling. They can't keep going with their way that currently things are in place. So when I went down there in April to observe this, I realized I can make some changes. I can make some impactful, meaningful changes down there. I just can't do it part-time. I can't do it like, I'll be down there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll see you next week, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I have to skip a week. It couldn't be a part-time thing. To make meaningful changes, it needs to be a consistent thing, which is why I kind of just stopped going over the course of the summer, because I still had my obligations and my business to run. Well, fast forward to today, I pretty much have no contractual obligations with anyone at this moment. Twitch, my contract expired. I walked away from G Fuel, and a couple other ones that I had have all kind of run its course. And I'm assuming with the way the economy is right now, people are just being a little more tight with their money. Creators at my size, at least for me, I'm just not getting the same deals that I was once getting. Thankfully, I did those 2 Verizon deals in the beginning of the year. But since then, everything I've kind of come my way has kind of been like meh. With that being said, I have no real serious time restricting obligations for any of my content for my business, which frees me up to do what I do whenever I want, and as much or as little as I want, which it has this sense of freedom that I can do things. And I've been talking about making changes. Again, if you watch my live streams, I've been talking about more IRL streams, more backpack streams, more traveling stuff. That's all going to come as the weather gets nicer and whatnot. But talking to my brothers one weekend, it hit me that they need some change quick. So they're running on fumes. And my dad, you know, I bless his heart, I love my dad, but for years and years and years, I've been telling him that he needs to slow down and he needs to back off and not work so hard, because he's always stressed out and it just wears on him. And I hate seeing my dad just worn down all the time. So decision was made that I'm going to be going down to my dad's warehouse and as a full-time employee and kind of being their pseudo office manager. I'm going to be taking a lot of my dad's daily routine and the time sensitive stuff off his plate to alleviate some of that stress and eventually streamline everything into a way that I can do 90% of the work here. In fact, last night I put in 8 orders. I listened to 8 voicemails and I inputted 8 orders in. Very capable of doing it here remotely. But we got to get a lot of processes in place and get things in a certain, you know, get certain things going in certain directions before I can make those calls. And it's going to be hard for my dad to let go of some things, because again, he's been doing this for 30 years by himself and he's been in total control, and things run the way he's always ran them. May not be the best way, may not be the most efficient way. And sometimes I can guarantee you it's not. There's definitely a better way of doing it, but that's the only way he knows. So, I've been down there for a week. Absolutely love spending time with my brothers. Like, they are literally the first people I see every day. When I wake up in the morning, Tiffany's asleep, kids are asleep, the world, you know, everyone's asleep. You know, driving down to the warehouse, the first people I see, you know, we're all kind of waking up together and, you know, they're printing their invoices and they're figuring out what their schedule looks like, what the routes are. And then, you know, they go to the dock and they start pulling product and start staging the orders. You know, and periodically through the morning, other people are coming in, you know, office people, dock workers, that sort of thing. And then eventually, you know, they load up their trucks and they go do their deliveries. But like I said, they've come to the limit where they need additional resources. And really at this point, we need to start breaking up jobs and duties. So it's not one guy doing the job of 2 or 3 guys, right? You're dedicated this, you're dedicated that. And then there's a middle one that kind of can do both and float around. And they've got it all figured out. They like, kudos to my brothers. They see the vision. They know exactly how they can run things. They just need a little bit of support and help to kind of get out of that daily, what's the word? Is it like minutia? Like, they're just kind of like in the same thing over and over again, and they can't get out to make those changes. Hopefully that's something that the plan is that I will be able to do that for them. So again, been down there for a week, and I mean, I've already helped with certain things to just make things a little easier, right? Something as simple as walkie-talkies. Instead of picking up their phone and calling, you know, the person in the office or calling each other, everyone's got a walkie-talkie now, and it's just like, hey, you got one of these or 2 of those? How many of those do we have? Or did you get that order for so and so? Yep, we got it. We're good. Simple. Speed. Time is money. You know. So that's just one little thing. A lot of tech stuff that my dad and my brothers just have no idea are available, or how to do it, or have the time to learn or implement things. Right now, I'm doing interviews for new drivers. My dad had a posting up 2 weeks ago. Application's been on his desk for almost a week. He's just, you know, doesn't have the bandwidth for it. Doing interviews isn't part of his daily routine. So I grabbed those. I started doing phone interviews. I did 2 face-to-face interviews. Like, I'm going to hire, a couple drivers. Like, that's something that I can do. Have experience in that. And as long as my dad trusts my judgment and trusts which I know he does, we're going to move this business in a positive direction where my dad and my brothers all benefit from. And so I'm committing to the next 90 days to help them do this. I'll be down there full time. Well, I'll be working with my dad full time. Hopefully we get to a point where I don't have to be down at the warehouse every day. I can do the bulk of the daily stuff right here in the house. But again, like I said, I love going down there and hanging out with my brothers. So even if I just go down in the mornings and then, you know, once they leave, I leave or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out later, but I'm committing to the next 90 days. So what does that mean for YouTube and Twitch and my business? Well, like I said, I'm no longer, have any kind of contractual obligations. So, ideally I would love to live stream every day, right? 1-2 hours every day, just short little bursts, checking in. How's it going? Happy hours, cocktail hours. Saturdays will be a dedicated day for video games and with friends and whatnot. Unless the kids have sports or there's an event going on or we have plans, so to speak, I should be live every Saturday for the longest stream of the week. If I can do an 8-hour stream, I'll 100% do an 8-hour stream. Otherwise, it just depends on what time I get home. I'm coming from downtown Phoenix, so there is going to be traffic depending on what time of day I'm leaving. But if I can get back home at a decent time and I have nothing else on my plate to do, fire up a live stream and hang out for 3, 4, 5 hours. like we always do. So that's the plan for Twitch. For YouTube, you're definitely gonna get some more vlogs because I'm out of the house. I'm doing things. I'm driving. I'm seeing people. I'm interacting with people. Though it is a business, and just like when I worked at Cox, I can't just vlog everything all the time. There's a lot of, you're in a public space like that in a work environment, and I just have to be careful on like what I show and record and what's going on in the background and whatnot like that. Right? There's conversations going on around the corner. They don't know they're being recorded. You got to be careful with that stuff. Plus, a lot of the day-to-day is very much the same. I was vlogging the first 2 days, and then by the third day I was like, this is deja vu because this is literally what I did yesterday and what I was saying yesterday. So I put the camera down, right? So I got 2 days at least recorded so far. But I can definitely see as things change, as things move around, more vlogs here and there. Also a lot of short content. I see tons of potential for not only entertaining content, but educational content, right? This is a produce business. How about a quick YouTube short that says, hey, how to pick the right tomato, what to look for in a banana, what to avoid in avocados, right? I see tons of potential for that. So stay tuned. This isn't the end of my business. Like I said, thankfully, the way this is all works is you can do this anytime, anywhere. And, long term, once the kids grow up and move out and move on, I would love to convert everything into like a I'd love to be a travel vlogger. I would love to, I love my house and I have no intentions of ever selling this house, but I'd love to get a van and like drive around the country and live in a van for a month and vlog and stream around the country, like long-term aspirations. You know what I'm saying? So Clintus.tv is not going anywhere. Clintus isn't going anywhere. I'm just kind of slowing things down a little bit while I help my family with their business. And because I truly believe that I truly believe that I have what it takes to help them in areas that they just don't have the knowledge to do, or B, the bandwidth to learn to do. Right. My youngest brother is a salesman. He is a showman, a salesman. He is amazing when talking to people and just, he's a friendly guy, and he can, what's the joke that you can sell a snow cone to an Eskimo, or I don't know, some ice, whatever. That's my brother, Travis. He's this personable guy that you love. He's a salesman that you don't hate. You know what I'm saying? And then Austin is just hardworking. He's been in the business with my dad. He is like Dad Junior, right? He knows this business inside and out. He knows all the contacts. He knows all the guys. Everyone knows him. They love him. So when my dad is ready to slowly back away and retire, Austin is going to pick up right where he left off and just, continue trucking. So I truly believe that I can help these guys. And honestly, that's where we're at. We're at the point where we need to steer this ship in the right direction in the next 90 days. Or I hate to say it, but I feel like my brothers are just going to get burned out. And honestly, we need to make changes before my dad gets burned out. And when I say burnout, I mean, he's getting older, and I'd hate to see the stress get to him to a point where something bad happens. Because like I said, I hate seeing my dad worn out all the time, and he is worn out all the time. So thanks for listening. I hope you understand. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments down below. Obviously, I'm still going to be, on Twitter and Instagram. And once I kind of get a feel for everything and I know where everything's at, and I feel comfortable and confident, stories, pictures, videos, you're going to get tons of content down there. Because it's my dad's company, it's my dad's business. And so it's one of those things where there's a little bit of freedom there to kind of, goof around, and my brothers do. they're a riot to watch, man. I'm kind of sitting back just watching them mess with each other. It's fun. So yeah, thanks very much for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next one.